Hello, and welcome to the weekly news roundup with Why I Love Warhammer. For those of you who joined this channel because of the every Space Marine Legion one sentence video, this is just what I upload on a Monday. I go through the Warhammer community news from the previous week, give a few views and opinions, and just have it all in one place. I I feel like it helps regulate a certain amount of hype, and yeah, it's just a fun thing to do. Just go through everything in one big go. So, first article here is the Black Library coin with. I do like these cool vampire count models. I like this gold. He's fun looking. Standard paint deal. How to paint guide. I don't know anyone who's ever collected these coins, but they do look neat. And the standard free models. See, sometimes it is just that quick to just look through an article because they're not always huge hype pieces. A good guide for painting up this new vampire count centerpiece model, and I always find it weird these because I view myself as having quite a lot of paint. Right, sitting in front of me right now, I've probably got about 20 pots of paint, but I will tell you right now, I don't own. I don't know, one, two. Uh, I own three of the paints listed here. There's quite a lot of paints to be purchasing for the one model. It's the hidden cost really with this hobby, I find, is the paint. Yeah, the model costs you a certain amount. You can build that, but then painting it costs even more. And yeah, I'll tell you this much: my model would not look this good because I probably wouldn't be trying to get every single one of these paints. But that said, this does look beautiful. I've got a huge amount of respect for the heavy metal painting team. They do make their models look genuinely gorgeous. Okay, the new White Dwarf. This is going to be my first White Dwarf of my subscription when this comes through my letterbox, and looking forward to it. This combat patrol is going to be an interesting one. I don't know how well balanced combat patrols turning out to be. Like, I really appreciate it as a game format. I think it's a really good starting point to get people in. It lowers that barrier to entry. I just don't know how well balanced it is, and I'd like to see it. A White Dwarf battle report. I think this would be good because one thing you do miss with the Warhammer Plus ones is the movement. And showing how the movement works like this, I think, is going to be really useful for helping really visualize how the game plays day to day. Okay, the event miniatures. Love this group model. I think it's a bit of a. I hope these are available online. I remember they did it for the Necrons a few years ago, where you could get the event miniatures as an online order, and I did, and it's my favorite Necron Overlord model I own. Um, so I hope they do the same for this group because Tau players deserve these good models. And yeah, very much enjoying this Kroot model. I think it looks cool. This guy looks awesome. I love this design. I love the weapon. I love the design. I love the crows. I love how Games Workshop do birds. And yeah, this guy is an awesome model as well. Look at that helmet. It's like the Plague Doctor's. And I love how his arm has been painted up and it's like just reflective, just a little bit like a crow. Not so much a fan of the booty here, but generally speaking, I do really like this model. I think it's really cool. I think if I got one of these, I'd paint it up to be. Yeah, I'd paint armor here. I'd pretend there was armor. Rumor engine. Normally, I joke that could be literally anything, but this looks distinctly Nurgle. So I'm not going to say that it could be anything. This looks like a Nurgle thing to me. balanced data slate. This is the thing when you do this just once a week. Is the balanced data slate came out, and I do think it's interesting that they do seem to be closer to that balance that they want. They say they like everything to be within a 45 to 55% win rate. Eldari and Necrons are slightly over. To be honest, I don't. I feel like they have a weird approach to how they think of a thing as balanced. I don't think tournament play is where you should go for it, to be honest. I think you should use games that are played in stores that are just casuals, because that's how most people are going to experience the game. Generally speaking, people will find a way to break your game. If there's something cheesy you can do, people will find it. I think if you want your regular balance, you should really be trying more for the casual games. It's been said that Tyranids are in the starter set, and your regular Space Marines, wherever they've gotten to. Are regular Space Marines even on this list? Yeah, Adeptus Astartes. Those are in the starter set. They're not going to have as high a win rate because they'll be played by people who aren't necessarily as experienced. For the whole 9th edition, Necrons were way down here, but they were in the starter set. Now they're not in the starter set. They're only played by people who kind of know and love the Necrons, know how to play them, know how to get that win. They're going to be higher up. Eldari, no, very few newbies play Eldari. They're highly specialized, so of course they're going to be higher up. That's not an original observation of mine. That's just a thing. So, yeah, I don't think they should. I think where they get these stats from is a bit peculiar, but I'm always happy to see that my 2 and 3 favorite factions to play as are high up. Maybe I'll get another win, a second win of the decade. So yeah, that's the. I won't go through the whole balanced data slate. The fact is, I don't play enough of the game to give any genuine insights into what the rules updates would really demonstrate. So I'm just gonna say that, yeah, I mean, they appear to be getting close to their goals, and so good on them, I guess. Changes to the. I've not actually tried to use any of these changes, but this just seems like a good idea. Have the stuff for your specific list, favorite units that you like to use a lot. Good on them. This was the battle report they did on Warhammer Plus, and yeah, sorry, spoiler alert for who comes where. Again, they did it for 40k as well. It's a weird format. It's interesting to see the big centerpiece models just kind of having a punch up, but I don't really know how reflective that is of the wider game. I feel like it's going to be a rare day you end up with 2 centerpiece models attacking each other without any outside influence. Spoiler alert: Lord Croak, King Brod, Gotrek came in 6th. Kragnos, Teclis, Everqueen, Archaon the Everchosen, and then Marathi Kane, the Snake Woman, came out top. Some more Warcry rules for some Flesh Eater Courts models. Again, I keep wanting to get into Warcry. They've got so many cool warbands, but I just never get into it. But it's supposed to be one of the best games that Games Workshop sell. Regiments of Renown, more stuff for the vampire counts. And sorry, courts. I keep calling them vampire counts. The vampire courts. You get the war scrolls and whatnot. Heresy Thursday, you get the new. I'm going to keep calling it the ATST because it kind of is. And it's a neat little walker. I think it's kind of cute. And I like the Solar Auxilia designs they've got going on here. They look very kind of retro astronaut. Okay, Fangs of the Blood Queen. So, yeah, more stuff for these new models that have come that went up pre-order on Saturday. I do like this model. I like the snake creature. Again, I tend not to do so much with the rules because I can say, okay, standard movement, all right, wounds, good bravery, average save. But the fact is that I don't get to go out and play as much as I'd like, so it's really hard for me to say this is good or bad. I can just kind of talk about vague statistical averages. Also, rules change. It could well be in the next Meta Watch they say, oh, we're actually going to really nerf her, or oh, she needs a huge buff. So I can only really judge aesthetics, to be honest, and where I know the lore, how it fits in. So I love the snake. These cool undead wolves are awesome, and I do love these bats. I think they're really well sculpted. Okay, this right here, you can't see me waving my finger at the screen, got me really excited. I think this needs to be more of a thing in the in gaming, in tabletop gaming, in all the Warhammer games. I love this, be able to give a player command point or victory point to another player that's making a deal. So you can say, oh, I'll give you a command point if you agree not to attack me. But the deals aren't binding. I love that conniving, that kind of playing politics. I feel like that really makes stuff into a far more narrative feeling game. And yeah, having 4-way battles, that's another good thing. It means that it feels more strategic, but also not as hard counter. If you bring your Sons of Behemoth on and someone's got no counter for it, okay, cool. They'll try and just leave you alone, hope someone else takes you out while they rack up the victory points. This is a really cool direction for the game, and I really want this to be more of a thing. Really happy about this. I think this is just so cool as a concept. I think this will make if this became more of a mainstream thing rather than just a Dawnbringers thing, I think it would be really add something to the game. I'd be really happy to play so much more in this style with kind of four-way games rather than 4-way games would be brilliant, and I think this type of thing would really add to it. Really happy about this, and yeah, I'd love to do a campaign of this. I'll get my Skaven out to do the Dawnbringers campaign. Alternate color schemes, I do like these. I like the alternate color schemes. This guy looks so much more kind of pallid and so much more kind of emaciated because he's in that in that different coloring. Okay, this is something else that I think is needed a lot more. We have the rules commentary, we have the meta watch, but what this is, it's clarifying what rules interactions do in a single article, and it's kind of in character. And it's demonstrating this is the situation. This is what is we understand. Please help, and it's actually saying, yeah, no, this is how it works. So this is, oh yeah, if you've put everything in strategic reserves and then your opponent's completely occupied your deployment zone, you lose. Like, yeah, good. Thank you for clarifying that. It's really nice rather than having players argue it out. Just have it in an article. And I want more of this. I want more of this consistently for all of the game systems. This is a really good article idea, and I love it. I want more. I want more Call the Judge. I do not care if it's the same vampire count guy for all the game systems, regardless of the setting. I just want more clarifications like this. This is brilliant. The book, I'm not going to read a book out to you in a news roundup. Community painting. This is nice. Get the community involved, and I don't think I'd ever be featured. That's the word I'm looking for. But I like the fact that people do. It's nice. Gets community engagement, community involvement. This color scheme I think is awesome. same for I think all of them are awesome, but like these two in particular, I think are particularly stunning. Okay, the Saturday pre-orders: Dawnbringers, New Flesh Eater Counts Battle Tome, Courts Battle Tome, New Centerpiece, these Fangs of the Blood Queen. This is awesome. Really enjoy that. The Judge model, again, think he's cool. They're all really cool looking sculpts. They just are. I think vampires are cool, and I think that I like the take on vampires here. It's kind of very Nosferatu-esque in terms of aesthetic, but it's also bringing in some of that sophistication that we expect from our vampire stereotypes now. And I like how they've blended it. It's a different take on vampires that I'm glad exists in fiction. I don't think I've seen this take on vampires anywhere else. And Crypt Guard. You're calling them ghouls. No, they're Crypt Guard. One thing I find weird is these Flesh Eater Court dice look very much like the Horus Heresy Night Lord dice. Just the design. Like the fangs are a bit longer, and the background of the dice is a different colour, but the art for it looks very similar. Another Ironhead Squat Prospector, good on them. I picked up this. I did actually buy this. I want the Chopper bottle opener. I think is awesome. And then final article, the Sunday preview. It's very book heavy, very Black Library centered preview this week. This orc model to coincide with Da Big Daka. Black Library Horus Heresy art book. Translations, another. This would be a nice one actually. The I keep calling them the Arcanauts, but that's just one unit. Yeah, but these this faction Age of Sigmar, I'm glad they're getting some more of a spotlight. Yeah, the Arcanauts Oath. Yeah, just glad to have more factions getting some spotlight in the novels. Fantasy book. I should say old world, but it's still fantasy to me. I think I don't know if this is one I actually read when I was first getting into 40k back in like 2005, 2006, Lord of the Night. But yeah, sweet. My favorite Chaos Space Marine faction is getting a book, and it's being kind of re-put up. No, this wouldn't be the one I read as a teenager. That'd be ridiculous. But yeah, more Night Lords books. Sweet. Gazgul Thrucker, Prophet of the War. Yeah, Nate Crowley, I love his books. So I read his Necron stuff, so very happy about this. Siege of Terror Volume, End the Death Volume 3, fair enough. More translations. Black Library Celebration. Yeah. And then Blood Bowl focused Warhammer Plus this week. So I was all geared up to make this week's episode of Why I Love Blank to be Seraphon from Age of Sigmar. But now I'm thinking maybe I should do Blood Bowl because it would be very timely, because I do love both. Haven't decided exactly yet which one I'm going to do, but I'll be recording it later on today. So kind of by the time this video goes out, it will be known which one I'm doing by me, but at time of recording this, I don't know. It's cool. I think Blood Bowl's fun. Looking forward to hearing the lore masters for it, and also the basing to have the pictures. I think it's going to be really fun and interesting. So yeah, that's the week roundup of Warhammer community news. I hope that there's going to be a nice starting point for your own thoughts and discussions. Looking forward to reading what you have to say in the comments. If you want to give this video a like, really appreciate that. If you want to subscribe, I'd love that too. If I've got channel memberships and a Patreon open if you did want to support me financially. And yeah, with that, and if you want to drop me a comment, views on the news from the Warhammer community articles this week, really love to hear it. I really like hearing what you guys have to say. And with that, I will see you next time, and I hope you're having a really good day.